Today on What It's Like, 1946 DeSoto S11 convertible. But before getting into all of it, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like. Picture this: you just obtained a car you know nothing about. Perhaps it's a lost, forgotten classic car that just doesn't get the coverage it deserves. We feature the classics, vintage, some exotics, lots of orphan cars, and cars that tend to get lost in the shuffle. If that sounds like a channel that you will totally dig, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. Great news! If you've been scouring the internet looking for one of these, this car is for sale at Classic Auto Mall. Link will be in the description if you're interested. Let's talk 1946 DeSoto. This was DeSoto's first post-war car, and the models were based on the short-lived 1942 line. There were some major changes like the hood, the grille, the bumpers, the front fenders, the rear design, as well as rear fenders. The whole car is essentially different in some way, shape, or form, but the biggest difference is the 1946 model does not have the hideaway headlights that the 42 had. The 1946 DeSoto could be had in a deluxe series, S11-S, or custom series, S11-C. And S stood for standard and C stood for custom. Why they didn't just call it standard and custom is beyond me, but they could have just said S11D instead of S11 whatever. Standard equipment on the deluxe series was dual sun visors, 2-speed electric windshield wipers, turn signals, parking brake light, cigar lighter, stainless trim rings, illuminated glove box with lock, dual outside door locks, map lights, illuminated luggage compartment, and bumper guards for front and rear. Stepping up to the custom gave you all of that and a bag of chips, but really, it did give you everything that came on the deluxe plus plastic steering wheel, foam rubber seat cushions, and tailored front carpets. 3 colors of broadcloth upholstery were available: green, blue, and tan. The convertible coupe had Bedford cord and leather in various colors. The deluxe could be had in 4 body styles: 2-door coupe, 2-door club coupe, 2-door sedan, 4-door sedan. Step up to the custom and it came in 7 body styles: 2-door club coupe, 2-door Brougham, 2-door coupe, 2-door convertible. They also offered longer wheelbase options, and that came in the 4-door Suburban, 4-door sedan, and a 4-door limo. Let's talk specs. 207.3 inches long, 75.7 inches wide. It rides a wheelbase of 121.5 inches. It weighs 3,520 pounds. Price $1,761, which is equivalent to you spending $26,912.60 in the year 2023. Moving on to engines. Only one engine on offer, 237 cubic inches displacement, flathead 6, 3.8 liters. It's good for 109 horsepower at 3,600 RPM, 200 pound-foot of torque at 1,600 RPM with a compression of 6.6 to 1. When mated to a 3-speed manual transmission, 0 to 60 could be had in 19 seconds. Theoretical top speed, 81 miles per hour. Average fuel consumption is 14.1 miles to the gallon. There was another transmission on offer called Fluid Drive, and 0 to 60 could be had in 23 seconds. 80 miles per hour was the theoretical top speed. 13.9 miles to the gallon is what one could expect to achieve. Let's talk styling. So I was never a huge fan of this styling, but I totally understand why people like it. There's a lot to like about it. I like the way that these fenders, like, look at how much they come out in the front, but then they taper into the side here. It's a very nice shape right here, and how this all comes down. I love how this protrudes outward down here, coming back to the rear fender. That's a pretty cool line. I like how this comes back. It turns inside here. The nice lights, which aren't straight, they're curved. I don't know if this is an actual brake light or if this is a reflector. If it's a brake light, that's really cool. But getting in the trunk back here while we're back here, that trunk is absolutely massive. And just check out the hinges. Absolutely huge, full-size spare, bias ply spare. It's carpeted. The trunk lid is really heavy, but it's helped by the springs. The springs take a lot of the weight off of the trunk lid itself. But here's a better look at what these fenders look like going forward. And it's kind of weird. Like, look at how that protrudes outward. It's almost like it has a bend right here and then goes forward. I have a friend that absolutely loves this body style with the waterfall grille. And I love the fact that it's not straight. Like, pictures don't do this car justice. It actually comes to a point right here and then goes back. Look at this chrome. And then notice, it could be stainless. Has this bright work down here. And then it has like a little trickle that comes up over top of the rear fender. And then this bright work that comes back. Coming up and getting inside. The door isn't very heavy. I want to see if the other door's like that. This door's bent. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. Yeah, that's the way it is. So just check this out. So look, going straight right here, there is a bend and it bends in. That is super interesting. Like, look at the track situation. You see where it's bent? Super interesting. Let's talk about this door panel. This is more of a cloth material, just like the seat. Down here, this feels like some sort of hair. It might be mohair. It might be something else. It feels more straggly than mohair. Might be horsehair. It might be horsehair. Up here, armrest as well as door handle to pull the door shut. This is the door handle to get out. This is the window crank for the big window. And it operates like that. And notice it's all trimmed out, even over here. This piece is never trimmed out. On inside the pedal box down here, handbrake, hood release, which we're gonna pop that real quick. This has a power top. There's a couple other toggle switches. I'm not sure what they're, but power top, that's cool. Clutch, brake, gas pedal. Notice how big the gas pedal is. Look at it. It's huge. Like the whole pedal. I never saw one shaped like that before. That's very interesting. And the high beam dimmer switch is right there on the floor. Take a look at what this interior looks like. That's what the door sounds like shutting. Here's what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person and over the hood looks like. Here's what under the steering wheel looks like. And I only show this because if you're buying this car, you might not fit in it. So I wear size 34 pants, and that's what it's like for a guy that's my size. I can fit in here, and the steering wheel turns just fine. If you wear 36 or 38, it might be a little snug. On to the button switches and knobs, moving from left to right. Oil pressure, amp meter, speedometer. Notice at the top of the speedometer, flanking on both sides, are turn signal indicators. Odometer just in the center of the speedometer gauge. Water temperature, gas gauge, radio, clock, ignition, map light, headlights, temperature control, blower/fan motor, defroster, lighter. Up above, there are sun visors. They're a bit small, but they're cool nonetheless. Rear view mirror looks like an aftermarket rear view mirror, but it could be standard. Let me know in the comment section below. Another rear view mirror for the passenger. I look like behind the wheel of the DeSoto. Notice I have tons of headroom. Do not feel claustrophobic because of the top, because it's off. And the seat up here anyway, up here in the front, the seat is extremely comfortable. Good position for the seat. On to the glove box test. Here's our test subject. Here's my hand for reference. Here is the glove box in question. It's not going to get past the latch or fit in there. That one is more or less for a glove box compartment. I just like showing that because sometimes the camera does fit in there, but that one, it wouldn't, but it's still relatively good sized. You could still put your lunch in there. Thermos would fit in there. Something smaller than that camera will fit in there. My hand fits in there pretty good to a certain extent. And it just seems like it just keeps going down. It's almost, it's not quite vertical. It's probably, I don't know, 75 degrees. It's very interesting. There's ashtray situations right here. There's an ashtray there. Cigarette lighter here. This one's got dueling spotlights. So there's a spotlight here, and that's what that one looks like right there. And there's also a spotlight over there. Getting in the rear, just move the seat out of the way. And that's how much space you have to get back there. Notice the floor situation. There's not a step to get up in there. It's all one space. So here's what the seat situation looks like. It's reclined a little bit. The bench isn't as wide as they generally are, and maybe it's, the bench is actually pretty wide. And it dips down a little bit back here, but it's more domed than anything. Here's what the back to front view looks like. Here's what the greenhouse looks like. As you can see, there's lots of nice air coming in through the convertible topness. There's the convertible top cover, and this is what out the rear looks like. There isn't an armrest. You can put the window up though, and it would operate like this. I think that is so cool. Just look at that. Notice this big chrome piece here, and it's all trimmed out. Coming to the under the hood section, we already popped the hood from inside. The other catch is right here. So there it is. There's the oil filter. Notice the steering column, it's way down inside there. Battery, 6 volt, of course. Radiator, and notice the radiator sits way back in here. Look at all of this unused space that they put the horn down in there so it echoes, I guess. On to the pros and cons. We are getting all of these pros and cons from the complete book of collectible cars, Blue Chip Auto Investment 70 Years from 1930 to 2000 by Richard M. Langworth and the auto editors of Consumer Guide. So technically this car, our featured car is technically not in there, but the DeSoto Custom Suburban is, and they are roughly the same body style. So we're just going to take these pros and cons. On the positive side, one of the most unique DeSotos and amongst the more interesting early post-war models, well built. Against it, styling is an acquired taste for most, hard to find on the collector's market. All right, now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to give me both the correct name of the song and band, first person to do both correctly will have their comment pinned to the top of the comment section.
Then you listen to the music and you like to sing along.
Thank you all so much for coming out and watching this. If you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a comment in the comment section below. I read and answer all comments posted. Second way is check out our Facebook group that correlates with this YouTube channel. Link will be in the description if you're interested. So if I catch you on here or if I catch you on Facebook, just know I appreciate all of the support. And until next time, toodaloo!